Hey guys, today I'm watching 5 ways British and American grocery stores are very different. Let's get into it.
So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun?
And it really depends where in the US you are too, and I think the UK has, I think I can name some of these stores like Sainsbury's, Tesco. They have Aldi's as well, which is German. We have Aldi's in the US too. Lidl, we also have that in the US as well a bit. So, yeah. I think we share Aldi and Lidl, but otherwise I don't think we have Tesco and Sainsbury's. There's probably more British stores as well, but I'm not sure offhand. So, but in the US, I know we have like ShopRite, Publix, which is down south. ShopRite, Publix. It's hard to remember. Wegmans. What else? Trader Joe's. Which is kind of owned by Aldi, or like another version of Aldi or something. Aldi, of course. Lidl. I know there's a bunch of like California ones as well. But yeah, offhand, those are like the American stores I remember offhand. Let's get on to the video.
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to grocery stores, or should I say supermarkets, because that's what we call them in the UK. Weirdly, I've been doing this channel now for about nearly 5 years, and I don't think I've really ever touched on the major differences between grocery stores and supermarkets. That is probably because the nauseating experience of walking around said stores is second only to malls. I'll be honest with you, we get our shopping delivered. Haven't had to walk into a grocery store in about 3 years. But I did do some research, so it's fine. And so without further ado, let's take a look at 5 big ways that British and American grocery stores / supermarkets are so very, very different. Yes, layout. As you can probably imagine, the layout of American grocery stores tends to be slightly different to that of Britain, but that makes sense. I mean, the United States itself is laid out quite differently to Britain. I don't just mean it's a different shape, I mean it incorporates different shapes. I did a video on this. Basically, America is obsessed with rectangles. Anyway, that's not connected to today's
good organization, hopefully.
video. I think this difference might have changed a little bit in recent years. For instance, it's a common practice in both countries now to put the fresh veg right near the entrance section to give this illusion of health as you walk in, and then you walk over to the chocolate and everything falls apart. But other than that, as you're walking around the stores in both countries, you will see the odd difference, sometimes very odd difference. So for instance, in some British grocery stores / supermarkets, you might find the eggs not in the dairy section. What's that all about? And since I've moved to America, that seems to make sense, right? It's with the cheese, it's with the milk, the whipped cream, and sort of genre-wise, that does make sense. But sometimes you will find things like eggs just hanging around with the beans in England and not refrigerated either. That's a shocking thing for a lot of Americans when they
well, good eggs shouldn't have to be refrigerated.
See that. The wine section might be found in a different spot to where you'd find it in US grocery stores. Across both countries though, it's always going to differ, especially depending on the actual store itself, so keep an eye out for that. And kind of connected to layout is our next entry. I've said it before and I'll say it again, size is not everything, though you probably wouldn't believe that if you saw the difference between UK supermarkets and American grocery stores.
American ones are usually bigger.
I used to think as a kid that whenever my mum would drag me around Asda, which is one of our major supermarkets,
What was it called?
That whenever my mum would drag me around Asda, which is
Asda, yeah, I remember, I've heard of Asda before.
One of our major supermarkets, that particular supermarket was absolutely huge. And then I moved to America, and I was equally dragged around Walmart.
Yep.
And in recent years...
Oh, Walmart, yeah. Walmart did more recently become more of like a grocery store, because now it stocks more like fruit and more food products nowadays. Yeah.
The comparison between the two has become quite apt, and that is because Walmart owns Asda. But the fact
Bruh, it does? Damn, didn't know that. Let's see. Asda is a British supermarket chain. It is headquartered in Leeds, England. It was founded in 1949. Yeah. Where does it say about the Walmart? Walmart, yes, let's see. A merger deal was abandoned when Walmart outbid Kingfisher to purchase Asda for £6.7 billion, which was completed on July 26, 1999. A move that was initially speculated by British media outlets as a potential corporate raid. Corporate raid is the process of buying a large stake in a corporation and then using shareholder votes rights to require the company to undertake novel measures designed to increase the share value, generally in opposition to the desires and practices of the corporation's current. Okay. Shortly after the takeover, Norman resigned as chairman and left the company to pursue his political career. He was succeeded as chairman by Leighton, as Walmart were keen on entering the British market. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. So Walmart bought Asda in 1999 for £6.7 billion. How much is £6.7 billion in USD? In USD, let's see. So it's about so 9,260,000. Oh, my bad. Let's just see over here. Yeah. So it's about 7,869,000,000. Yeah, so about 7 billion something. Interesting. Yeah, 6.7 billion pounds equals about 7,800,000,000 USD. Interesting. So it's almost like one. It's almost like it's almost like one extra billion. Quite a lot. Yeah, because the British pound is, I guess, stronger than USD, so makes sense.
It remains that Asda, most of them anyway, are not located within their own zip code, postcode. Whereas Walmart, it might as well have its own zip code. They're absolutely huge. They're so large, in fact, that just walking around the perimeter is enough for your weekly exercise.
And they also own Sam's Club, although I love Costco.
Which I suppose is good considering all of the calories that you're about to buy. And because Walmart and to a lesser extent Kroger are absolutely massive.
Oh yeah, Kroger. Yeah, I've heard of that one.
That means you have the following. In the United Kingdom, nationwide, you've got the likes of Sainsbury's, Tesco, Morrison's, Asda. So we have choice in that regard, but once you get inside the stores, we probably don't have quite as much to offer as the United States, who, for instance, provide you with about 27 varieties of Coca-Cola. I haven't tried them all, in fact, I've barely tried any of them, but the rule seems to be that the brighter the packaging, the more varieties there'll be, and also the brighter the packaging, the least healthy it'll be. So to reiterate, American aisles have more variety than British aisles. That was a joke, wordplay. British Isles, you got it. We're good.
Yep.
Walmart has such variety, you can even buy auto parts. They're usually at the back of the store, which is not the best place between you and me, because what if you're buying a big, hefty tire?
I think Sam's Club also, they sell gas, and they also have, like, a car repair station. An auto shop.
How are you going to get that out? You could roll it, that's true. In fact, that sounds amazing.
Sam's Club probably does as well, too.
Amazing, I might do that next time I'm in Walmart. I've just remembered I'm never going back in a Walmart, so we're good. And I don't drive. And speaking of purchases, once you get to the till/cash register, there's another chief difference between our two countries. I have to admit this.
He lives in Chicago, so I don't think he has to drive, so makes sense.
This one got me long before I moved to the United States when I was visiting the state of Maine in 2004. I walked into a music shop, as you do. I much prefer music shops to supermarkets anyway. And I purchased a ukulele. I think I talked about this very recently. And in doing so, of course, I looked at the price. $15, which is cheap. I mean, don't ever do that again. It was good while it lasted, but it didn't last very long. So I took it to the counter expecting to pay exactly that in three $5 bills.
Oh, yeah.
Only to be told, you know, $17.32. I mean, I'm making that number up in hindsight. I didn't really get where that additional $2 came from. And it turns out that sales tax is applied at the point of sale, whereas
they should really just apply it before you buy it, you know, so you can see how much you're going to pay in full. It doesn't make sense to have to see it at the end.
in the United Kingdom, what you see on the price tag in the aisle itself is...
It should be, what you see is what you get, you know? You should pay the price that's labeled.
Exactly what you'll pay for that item, so there's no surprises when you get to the till. I should say that, you know, I think in England, even when I'd go grocery shopping, I didn't calculate in my head each item as I went along, so I don't
think you have to do that in grocery stores for the most part, though. I think the grocery store is usually the same price, because I don't think they add on that tax as much, but maybe not. Yeah, I think it's like for produce and such, it's the same price.
never really had a great idea about what that...
What the heck? Did the sound just cut out?
Total was going to be
it's back.
Item as I went along, so I never really had a great idea about what that total was going to be anyway. It's usually when you're just purchasing single items this problem first arises, but anybody that's visiting America from the UK who usually doesn't give a second thought to VAT, you will have to give thought to sales tax, which is kind of the equivalent here of VAT. And like I said, that sales tax is not applied to the whole store before you even go in. You'll see it applied to your...
We should, you know, use the British method instead, because the British method is better in this case. Not the European method in general.
After the fact. It's not a huge deal. I got used to it, you know, after a couple of years. One thing I'm still getting used to, though, is our final entry. Yes, brand differences, and I'm not talking about, you know, this particular brand that you simply can't get an equivalent of in the UK. No, I'm talking about the exact same object, or typically food item, that has the same font and everything and look about it, but a completely different name. Take, for instance...
I think Mars bars or something like that. Milky Way?
Axe versus Lynx. They're deodorants, don't eat them. I'm not suggesting these are all food items, but if you are a 14-year-old boy, you know what Axe deodorant is, or Lynx. They are exactly the same thing. They both have an X in it, much like an inordinate amount of brand differences, actually. You've got TJ Maxx versus TK Maxx. You've got ExxonMobil
Bruh.
versus Esso. You've got Dove versus
Galaxy. Oh, yeah, Dove. Let's see. Galaxy. I think Dove is an American chocolate company. Yeah. Dove. Chocolate. Yeah, Dove, sold as Galaxy in the UK, Ireland, the Middle East, and India, is an American brand of chocolate owned and manufactured by Mars. And Mars Incorporated is an American multinational manufacturer of confectionery, pet food, and other food products. Dove produces a wide range of chocolate candies, as well as other chocolate products such as milks, cakes, and ice creams. Oh yeah, Mars bars, I think as well. Let's see, Mars bar. Mars chocolate bar, commonly known as Mars bar, is the name of two varieties of chocolate bar produced by Mars Incorporated. Yeah, they're an American company. Yeah, interesting. So the Mars bar was first made in England. Yeah. But an American version of the Mars bar was produced, which had nougat and toasted almonds covered. Oh, that sounds good. The American version was discontinued in 2002, then revived in a slightly different form the following year under the name Snickers Almond. Huh, interesting. So Snickers Almond is a Mars bar. Let's get back to the video.
Alexa, what are they going to change your name to? I don't have Alexa. That was just a joke. But if you're from the US and you go over to the UK and you're walking around the shopping aisles and you're looking out for crisps/potato chips and you see one that looks a little bit like Lay's, you know, Lay's, the American...
I think they call them Walker's Crisps in the UK.
Crisp company. It'll be called Walker's, but it has the exact same font. Everything else about it is the same, except for some other flavors.
Is Lay's American or British? Let's see. Is a brand of potato chips, as well as the name of the company that founded the chip brand in the United States. It has also been called Frito-Lay with Fritos. Lay's has been owned by PepsiCo through Frito-Lay since 1965. Interesting. Yeah, it's called Walker's in the UK and Ireland. So in 1932, salesman Herman Lay opened a snack food operation in Nashville, Tennessee. In 1938, he purchased the Atlanta, Georgia-based potato chip manufacturer Barrett's Food Company, renaming it to H.W. Lay Lingo and Company. Yeah, interesting. So it's an American company. Yeah, it's cool. And they make really good chips, in my opinion. Crisps for the British peeps.
Flavors, bear that in mind. And some of the chocolate seems to live in an entire, except for some other flavor, called Walker's, but it has the exact same font. Everything else about it is the same, except for some other flavors, bear that in mind. And some of the chocolate seems to live in an entirely different universe. Literally, in some cases, like I said before, the British Galaxy Bar is Dove in America, Milky Way is Three Musketeers, and Mars is Milky Way. It's all one star cluster of monumental differences. And of course, there are absolutely loads. So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh, look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun? You know, you might get bored after a while. But send me your pictures. It will be amazing. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the observations you've made over the differences between a British supermarket and an American grocery store. In the
Never really liked Milky Way, though, to be honest.
Meantime, if you haven't had the chance to do so, please subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost
I loved Milky Way. I mean, it wasn't bad.
In the pond. And a big shout out to all my patrons, without who none of this would be possible, from the writing to the research to the exercise in Walmart. If you would like to become a patron of Lost in the Pond, you can.
Alright, that was very enjoyable. Yeah. It's quite interesting. 5 ways British and American grocery stores are very different. If you enjoyed my reaction, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.